All right, everybody. Looks like it's 10 o'clock. We want to thank everybody for coming to our presentation today. Um, my name is Valerie. I'm with the Pennsylvania Apartment Association. And with me, I also have Shay, also from the
Good
Apartment
morning.
Association. And we're really excited about today's FYI Friday, which is given by our Diamond Medal sponsor. It is our top tier. These guys have we have a long time relationship with Multihousing Depot. We're very excited for them to give today's presentation. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to George Cowden. He's Vice President of Sales for Multihousing Depot and also chair for the trade show committee and a person that I go to all the time for any kind of knowledge in the association. So take it away, George.
Thanks, Valerie. Good morning and happy Friday, everyone. Looks like we are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel regarding COVID-19. Thank you to the PAA for providing this platform so that we can share with this great group of people some real stories about innovation at MHD and in the industry. Thank you to Shay and Valerie for coordinating this webinar and to help everything run smoothly and on time. Thank you both. As business owners and operators, we fully comprehend the worth of our time and your time. In fact, I'm so thrilled to have Matt Bell, MHD's Vice President and a visionary leader here today to talk with you. He is typically a hard man to find time with, but now we have him on video. First, before I hand it over to Matt, just a couple of key points. You are dedicating your time to this webinar. We get that. And our biggest goal today is that everyone on the call takes away at least two things of value. We want to inspire you with our presentation and leave you with wanting more. We are excited to talk to you about things like open floor plans and why they do not just look great, but how they make us feel and impact the way we all live. Lead times are changing, getting quicker. This is a game changer in our world. Options. There are more options available to owners today. This opens the door for creative design and individual expression. Whether it be something to help you today or in your future endeavors, this is what we hope to provide. Value. Now I will hand it over to Matt. Matt Bell. Right. Go ahead, Matt.
Matt, I'm going to stop sharing and it's over to you.
Okay. Okay, well, before I begin, I just want to say how grateful I am to have this opportunity to talk to everybody. Now, I'm really passionate about a number of things that we're going to be talking about, and I'm usually a very reserved, very introverted person, but I get a little jazzed up by what we're going to be talking about. I'm really hoping that you'll find this time we spend together very valuable, very worthwhile time spent. So I went out, and before I did this, I wanted to look at some things on everybody's websites. And what really struck me was everybody's mission statements. So I went and looked at a number of mission statements of everybody in the industry, and I picked out a handful to share. You know, one was providing living excellence. Another was creating a better way to live. Another was creating great places to live. One was creating sanctuary for all. Now, those are very, very bold, very worthwhile pursuits. And what I wanted to be able to share is some of the experiences we've had, some of the stories, best practices of what our customers have done and how we've helped our customers in their pursuit of that mission. And I'm hoping that some of this helps you guys. So one of the first short stories I want to tell is this one. You know, this particular customer came to us and they had a budget in mind of what they wanted to spend on updating this property. And it's a customer we're very close to, and we did some brainstorming. You know, threw out all the layouts and looked at lots of different materials and colors. And you know, we worked really hard at trying to figure out what would be a solution, but nothing really fit, because the problem was this is an older building and they were competing with brand new apartments all around them. I mean, they have a fantastic location. It's a fantastic company. But we just didn't address the problem. So we looked at it again, we really studied their layouts, and we saw a pattern about where their kitchens were oriented, how they were oriented, where the electric and plumbing were. And the only things in the way were these walls. So the customer had this aha moment. What if we knock down the walls? Then it made their investment seem a little bit different. Instead of just using expensive materials, it was more or less the experience they were going to create for their prospective resident. And it was really that brainstorming to really identify the problem, identify the goal, and really pursue that, and then come up with a plan. And we were able to come up with a handful of layouts that all worked together, so that a smaller apartment had less cabinets and less countertop, but as the apartment grew, it sort of just grew on the same layout. And it provided a similar look and feel to all the different unit layouts. And they ended up with a fantastic open layout. And they integrated a lot of very trendy things to a two-tone type of kitchen. It's become extremely popular with different materials, horizontal graining, lighting, quartz, and it just looks so beautiful. A very, very different look and feel from where they started. Next one is another customer that, I mean, just scroll through a handful of pictures. And this is really, it just doesn't do justice to what this particular customer has done in many of their complexes. But what I want to stress is really with the kind of time and energy they put into their inspiration mode, for lack of a better term, where they really collect up a lot of things from all the different things that inspire them about each and every complex or project they endeavor to pursue. And they share that inspiration with us, and they're always asking us, as they probably are with other vendors, what's next? What's next? What's going to keep us relevant? What's going to really provide that wow moment to a prospective resident? And then after they work on that wow, they do a fantastic job of standardizing that excellent design. They work with us, and we try and help them with the placement of plumbing and electric so that it's very similar throughout the complex. We work with them on minimizing the number of door panels or door parts and cabinet parts to make it easier to maintain over the life of the project. And they just create economies of scales for themselves in many ways, most of which in the labor, where they make it easier to do the renovation by standardizing and maintaining the property over time. So I just wanted to shout from the rooftop that they benefit so much from their upfront planning, their upfront inspiration. So hopefully I made my point there. And they work with us because they like to create some unique products to offer their prospective residents, something a little bit different than they're going to find anywhere else. Another one is we help our customers when they're in pursuit of creating a really relevant color, style, offering. You know, we have access to stuff around the world. It's really unbelievable what we have access to. And all it takes sometimes is just a conversation and what is sharing with us what your goals are. Because believe me, your pursuit of that, creating a better way of life, inspires us. Yes, we pay the bills by delivering a range and a refrigerator, but what gets us going, what gets us jazzed up is helping you achieve your goal. Here's another one. I love this one. It's very simple and clean. This is neat. I don't know how the color on my screen looks, but this is a navy. This is a white. And what's actually pretty interesting about this particular style is that a lot of times people don't think about combining metal colors, but you're going to see a lot more metals, different color and finished metals in the same space, and it kind of works. But you have to use it right. And here, unifying the hardware on the cabinet, wall cabinets and the base cabinets in that different color helps bring it all together. Most especially when they're tying in their faucet. This is another trend we've been involved with, is on the pantry cabinets, making that storage on the top more usable. So we make far more pantries in this configuration than the opposite, where the small doors on the top and the big doors on the bottom. Here's another one where they're incorporating some blue. This actually, you know what? I don't think we used the right photo here, but this is actually framed out with blue. That picture is not in here. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, here's a amenity space that we've helped our customers with. Here's a great little story where there's a project in Philadelphia that we did, and they had an inspiration. And I think in the conversation, it came from HGTV, where people were seeing more inset type cabinets. And we prototyped an inset cabinet. The problem was with the inset cabinet is the value of the cabinet was on the outside of the box, and when you put them all the cabinets together, all the value is buried in between each other. So they still wanted that look. So we bounced around some ideas, and it was great to sit with the architect, the owner, and a whiteboard and plan out what was possible. And it became relatively affordable. We just made an open cabinet. We made the front of the cabinet flush with the doors. And then had a horizontal piece, just a 3-inch piece, top and bottom, and an end panel over here to help create that inset look. We also did that with a job. This one's outside of DC. And as you can see, it really, the colors go extremely well together. A nice combination of different colors or metal colors in the unit. But it helps create that inset look without creating a very high price tag. There's another thing about the horizontal grain. You know, a way of looking at the horizontal grain is that in design, a vertical grain typically provides a more formal look, and a horizontal grain provides a more casual feel to a space. So you're definitely going to see a continued use of the horizontal, and it really does create that more casual, free-flowing space. Makes you think more of a horizon. This one is more another trend. You might see black here, but more and more materials are coming out that have that that super matte finish, and a lot of it is materials that are fingerprint resistant, and they're getting better and better with that technology. In some trend, it's not here yet, but maybe in three to 5 years, you're going to see a lot less hardware in kitchens and a lot more push to open kind of features with drawers and doors, so that you don't see any hardware, and the actual doors and the surface material is fingerprint resistant. make it really easy to clean, and a very, very, very clean, sleek look. There's another trend here of micro units. I remember this particular unit, there's about 15 or 16 people in this space, in this top of a high-rise building, saying, what do we do here? And these are closets. There's all this drawer space. There's a drawer underneath that sink base. You know, creating a lot of usable space. And I've seen a lot of projects copy this look in the city. This is another story, great story, where it really generated a lot of work for us, and it was just someone asking the question, what can we do here? This particular company had a lot of new construction that had been, you know, 15, 20 years old, and all of their kitchens were very basic white kitchens. And they wanted to know, what can we do here without ripping out the units? So we offered up some different ideas. We just made replacement doors and a very bone color, bone texture, and standardized it. Made it easier for them to go through the entire complex and just run through it with the least amount of disruption for the resident. Another thing that, you know, I really wish we had a lot more pictures of many of the islands that we've done. So this picture itself might not be all that inspiring. The inspiring aspect of the islands is they solve problems. And a lot of the islands we've created for some, actually I have a photo. Where this one, a customer just basically gave us a picture and said, hey, can you do something like this? So they've ordered hundreds and hundreds from us. But all it was a picture. And we prototyped it, gave it to them, they said, great, let's use it. But it really solved the problem because it had to address an ADA issue where some of their layouts, they did not have an area to create that workspace. So they had a sink-based workspace, but not the regular workspace, and that's doubled up as far as that added need. Some other kinds of islands we've created. This one is an aluminum structure. This one's in Philly. You know, it made it simple. This particular structure was built and engineered just so we could plop a cabinet on it. Again, it solved some issues here with the ADA and created a really interesting look. Bathrooms, I really, really love what's going on in bathrooms, and we don't do a very good job of marketing this, but we have sold really thousands and thousands of wall-hung vanities. It creates such a wonderful addition to a space where these are all drawers. There's U-shaped openings in all the drawers. You never have to worry about your feet or a wet floor. This wall-hung system that we use in these cabinets is absolutely stellar. I know I'm being recorded right now, but we ended up installing this directly in drywall. I will not recommend just doing it in drywall. I would absolutely recommend you got to put blocking in the wall. But for our test, we put it in drywall, put 600 pounds on it, left it there for a week. It held. So it is a fantastic wall-hung hardware. Again, I know I'm being recorded. I'm recommending using the blocking, but it is a fantastic look. Very sleek, very open, very pretty. We've also been doing a lot more mirrors where the vanity itself matches the mirror. Anyway, I guess right now is more or less when we were going to take some questions.
So if anybody has questions, you can either type it in the Q&A, or you can, if you unmute yourself, you can go ahead and do it that way. Either way. Anybody have any questions? I did, Matt. When you were talking about the hanging bathroom vanities.
Mhm.
I mean, I've heard that it helps open the space. Is that true?
Absolutely. You can't help but feel, eyes naturally go to certain things, and when you're in an open space, you'll notice that when I say like a mall, a hotel lobby, airports, you're seeing less and less diagonals and rounded features. Now they certainly complement and they still exist, but there's a lot less of them. There's more embedded and staged rectangles everywhere. And part of that is when you're in a space, you see something round, it doesn't fit. It's hard to fit. Like a rectangle in your brain, you can organize. Diagonals, they just mess the space up. I may not be articulating this really well, but when you have openness, what happens in your mind is that you perceive it to be more open. Even if you had a vanity that went right to the floor versus one that's on the wall, you didn't create any more space. All you did was eliminate some, and it still feels, it has a feeling of being open. And it really contributes to a better feel in the less constricting in the space.
Thanks, Matt. It looks like we have another question from someone. Do you make any kind of island in stainless steel?
Islands, well, we have a partner we've done a whole lot of islands with, and it is possible, yes. And even if we couldn't, we could probably find, depending on the objective of the customer, we can help you find a source. Something that we've learned is it's really best to be a great partner. A lot of these projects, we might be supplying the appliances and the cabinets and not the countertops, or the countertops and the appliances, not the cabinet. Like, there's lots of different things, and we're very happy to have part of your project or the whole project. Doesn't matter. We want to be a part of everything. So we go in that vein of really trying to be a good partner. So we'll help.
And Matt, you make your facilities actually make these things, right?
Yes. Yeah. So down here, we don't need to go through all of it. I'm not sure how interested everybody is in this, but this is the starting point for our cabinet process. That this panel robot takes the material to our saw. Here's our saw. Here's the part that edge bands all the parts. A lot of times, there's this feeling sometimes when it comes to frameless cabinets that it's substandard because it utilizes engineered boards. And I think some of that comes from maybe manufacturers in the marketplace that don't use the kind of adhesives that we use. So when the product fails, the material gets a bad name. But the material itself is 100% recycled. Particle board, MDF, it's all 100% recycled. Comes from paper mills, furniture mills, lots of different lumber mills, providing that to the board manufacturers that actually make the boards. It's considered post-industrial waste, and they turn something into it. Everything we make comes from a recycled product. And you don't care about that if you never know it's particle board. And that's why we invest so much in the adhesives that we use. And that's why we offer a 5-year warranty. A lot of our competition only has a 1-year warranty. And we really have very, very few warranty claims. But this is one of the keys to our success in the edge banding of our product, that we use very high-tech glues, things that help us sleep very well at night. Here's another area. It's kind of jazzy. I love this machine. Helps us machine. This is taking 2 cabinet sides. Kind of skip around here a little bit. This is a process where we thermofoil doors. I'm kind of running through it quick. I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Go ahead.
What's your turnaround time?
Our turnaround time, that's kind of a loaded question. We're doing more and more projects. So the turnaround time is just basically scheduled work. I'd say most of our everyday business is probably 2 to 3 weeks right now. We inventory some product, you know, and I'll get to something later. If I skipped it already, yeah, here. Where in September 10th, we're launching a whole new program where we're going to condense down the time it takes to process our orders, where we'll have a design like this and everything in it is already engineered. Everything in it's already priced and connected with our accounting system. And once we hit go, everything will go into the necessary software that it needs to be processed in to all bring it back together and deliver to the customer. So it's really revolutionary, and we're going to be launching that in September. It's taken 4 years to set up. Just to give you an idea of what it can look like, having all that speed and being able to change a parameter within the design and still have the same speed to manufacture it.
Looks like we have another question, Matt. They're asking, are there any new trends for Class C properties?
Class C properties. Well, there absolutely will be. And the reason why I say that is traditional manufacturing is where you find a lot of that product going into C properties. And the machines to make that stuff is, I hate to say this, but dying. It's still going to be around for a while, so I'm not saying it's going away tomorrow. But the machine manufacturers in the United States, we don't make machines. It's really being made, those machines are being made elsewhere in the world. So if you want to buy a machine and you want to get into manufacturing, you're buying machines that make this kind of product. That's going to lead a lot of those C properties to look for a different kind of product for their apartments. And most especially whether it's C, B, or A, if you want someone to stay there, you want that space to look and feel new. Because that way someone doesn't feel like they're just passing through, and it's something that was really kind of theirs, that new space for them. I don't know if that really answers the question, but there are trends, and you're going to have easy to clean, you know, basic products that we're going to be able to bring to market at a lower cost. But, you know, trying to get to what the trend is on the color, I'm not sure about that.
Are there any other questions? Does anybody have? Well, I thank everybody for coming today. Is there any other, Matt and George, are there any other items that you may have?
Real quick, there's some things we're going to be doing in the future, very soon in the future, is we are opening up our own stone shop. We're creating our own boards, and we're in the middle of constructing a new showroom. So inside our showroom, we're actually creating a smart apartment. Anyway, so we'll have more of a consultative area to talk about our customers' needs and be able to bring together everything to help them achieve their goal.
That's awesome. Well, I want to thank you on behalf of the Pennsylvania Apartment Association and all our guests today for this really insightful mini webinar on FYI Friday. It really shows us a whole lot of what the now is and the future is, and this is exciting stuff. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome, and thank you for giving us the platform and the opportunity, Valerie and Shay, and to all of our participants today and all our friends and customers. You know, we have 160 employees with 4 locations, and our headquarters is right here, right in our own backyard, right in the Philadelphia area, here to help you, and we're only a phone call away. So thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you, everybody.
Have a great weekend.